After the rescue of Borte, Temujin and his family would live with Jamukha's band for a year and a half, renewing their oath of Anda for the third time and generally living a peaceable and pleasant existence. Then, in April or May around 1183, Jamukha suggested that they should make separate camps for the horse herders, the more prestigious group which Jamukha belonged to, and the sheep herders, which confused Temujin, who went back to his mother Olun for advice rather than answering. As he explained the situation to Olun, Borte interrupted, telling Temujin how everyone knows that Jamukha tires quickly of his friends, and his statement means that he has grown tired of us. Now, was Jamukha not treating Temujin with the respect he deserved as an Anda? Jamukha was a descendant of the first husband of Bodonchar Munkeg's wife, before Bodonchar killed him. Jamukha thus had the more prestigious lineage than Temujin, and may have begun to have felt that Temujin was acting above his station. Or perhaps some of Jamukha's supporters were feeling this way at least. Was he jealous of Temujin's growing popularity? It is very far from clear from the sources why the split between them began, or if Jamukha's statement was a riddle of sorts we can't hope to understand 8 centuries later. Whatever it was, Temujin would not stay to camp that night, continuing onwards with his family and followers, some of Jamukha's group joining them, the charisma of Temujin bringing him attention. Then, around 1185, possibly, the chronology at this point is very uncertain, Temujin became Khan of the Borjigin, although the secret history of the Mongols says that he takes the title of Chinggis Khan at this time. This is a bit confusing, so we'll get into this in more detail later on. Anyways, he had become Khan of the Borjigin and was aspirations to becoming Khan of all of the Mongols. This meant he was further getting, in the eyes of the aristocrats, too big for his britches, so to speak, something a very ambitious man like Jamukha would certainly have taken notice of. Temujin and Jamukha do not seem to have crossed paths again until 1186 or 1187, when one of Jamukha's kinsmen, Taichar, stole horses from one of Temujin's followers, Juchi Dharmala. Juchi Dharmala, not recognizing Taichar, hunted him down and killed him with his bow for stealing the horses. Jamukha was enraged at the murder of his kinsmen, or saw this as a useful pretext as a declaration of war. Assembling an army, he marched on Temujin, and while the numbers are uncertain, it's very likely Jamukha outnumbered Temujin significantly. Temujin still had many military lessons to learn, and was a long way from becoming the great conqueror he would be famous for. And at the Battle of Dalan Balzhut in 1187, Temujin would be defeated. Jamukha, not for the last time, would not push his opportunity to finish off Temujin, allowing Temujin to escape with his life. Now, after the battle, Jamukha, according to the secret history of the Mongols, is supposed to have boiled 70 princes of the Chinos tribe alive in cauldrons, and then tied the heads of some of their chiefs to the tail of his horse. This was a grave atrocity, which would have destroyed the spirits of the princes, and the secret history tells us that this caused a number of tribes and people to abandon Jamukha to Temujin. But this is rather questionable. The Persian historian Rashid al-Din actually writes that Temujin won the battle at Dalan Balzhut, and he was the one who boiled the princes. But as Rashid's work was a court history, it seems he did not want to say that Temujin actually lost the battle. But it's still odd that he would attribute the boiling of the princes to Temujin. Meanwhile, in the Chinese source, the Shenwu Qinzheng Lu, which I just certainly said incorrectly and will write out down below, they write that After the battle, wolves were cooked in 72 vessels and eaten in celebration. Possibly a confusion over the word Chinos, which means wolves. And by possibly, I mean certainly a confusion over the word Chinos. Either way, it's probably unlikely that Jamukha actually boiled 70 princes, or any princes for that matter, and was very likely just a story spread and addition added to the secret history to hide how badly Temujin lost the battle. Anyways, Temujin was completely defeated and forced back to square one, and was going to have to spend the next few years rebuilding his power base.